A bombardment on a scale Israel has rarely felt. The numbers vast, the missiles advanced, the damage devastating. 3 a.m. in South Tel Aviv, the night air saturated with confusion, panic and concrete dust. Iran promised retaliation. This is it.
This is a residential neighborhood, Bat Yam. The strike happened about 40 minutes ago. You can just see this is the apartment building that was struck. Around us is a sea of people looking to find out what happened to the neighbors and emergency workers. Lots and lots of emergency workers. We've just seen some guys turn up, which would look like heavy-duty drilling equipment.
Search and rescue teams were quick to climb into the wreckage. They would still be clawing through the rubble come morning.
What was the feeling like?
The feeling, no, rooms, it's going, yes, and in apartment don't have glass, so it's window, nothing.
It's all gone.
All, yes, in all built.
Yeah.
But it's
So on the side of the building, all of the glass and everything came off the front.
6 people died in this strike, including 2 children. 4 more died in another missile attack, and more than 200 people were injured. Morning light revealed the true scale of the destruction. By mid-afternoon, emergency workers said 7 people were still missing. In all, a toll high enough to force the Israeli president onto the streets this morning and defend the decision to wage war on Iran.
So we are basically defending not only Israel, but the Middle East, humanity itself, world peace. And I call upon the leaders of the G7 who will convene tomorrow in Canada. They should all be with us. Because if you want to get the nukes out, you better work together with us and make sure that Iran does not reach its capability.
There is no sign of de-escalation. Israel carried out a 3rd night of bombing raids last night. Fighter jets attacked at least 80 targets in Tehran overnight, including on the Iranian Ministry of Defense. In Gaza, the worry isn't just bombs or bullets, it's sustenance. Cowering beneath gunfire, Palestinians on Friday hoping for aid at a Gaza Humanitarian Foundation site near Rafah. Locals say they were fired by the Israeli Defense Force. We have asked the IDF for comment, but they are yet to get back to us. The Gazan health authorities say 8 people were killed at another GHF site this morning. Israel is now fighting a war on 2 fronts, conflict that only seems to be growing.
In the last few moments, we've had an update on the number of dead. So overall, the figures now stand at 11 dead in those attacks last night. At that incident I was at in Bat Yam, it's 7 dead and 3 people are still missing. In the last half hour, Benjamin Netanyahu has said, quote, "We will deliver them a crushing blow." That blow isn't just militarily, though, looking for the nuclear program. It is economic. 2 oil refineries in Iran were hit last night. The Iranians have confirmed that. Iran's economy is already in a perilous state. The regime relies heavily on that oil. In return, Iran have also fired up on Haifa, the oil distilleries here. The problem here in Israel, though, is less economic. A new fear has descended upon Tel Aviv.
Paul McNamara reporting live for us there. Thank you, Paul, in Tel Aviv. Now, Keir Starmer's landed in Canada for the meeting of the G7, with the conflict in the Middle East very high on the agenda. The PM says he'll call for de-escalation, while he also confirmed the UK will be sending more military jets to the region. Our political editor, Gary Gibbon, is in Ottawa.
Keir Starmer came to Canada a day early, ahead of the G7 that starts this evening across Canada in the Rockies. He wanted to show solidarity with Mark Carney, Canada's Prime Minister, and boost an economic conversation, which the government hopes could end in a trade deal. The 2 leaders went to a bar showing Mark Carney's beloved ice hockey. The agenda for this summit was already pretty packed before the conflict between Israel and Iran kicked off. It is a conflict with enormous potential for fallout. The Prime Minister's been confirming while he's out here that Britain has sent Royal Air Force aircraft, Voyagers and Typhoons to the region, but he's being non-specific, very carefully non-specific about what they're there for. He says they're there for contingencies. Now that could mean protecting British bases. It could mean, as Britain has done twice in recent times, intervening to try and help Israel defend its own airspace from Iranian attack. How much this conflict escalates, well, much of that depends on the man who's going to be turning up at the G7, Donald Trump, not a man with an enormous fan following in Canada. Ukraine was already on the agenda for this summit, and President Zelensky is expected to turn up. Tariffs also part of the conversation here. The world's attention will be on Donald Trump. America gained a reputation amongst some as the world's policeman for decades after the Second World War. Nobody quite knows how this particular policeman, with a taste for occasionally being the wrong side of the law, some would say, is going to handle this enormous crisis in the Middle East.